Across the prophets, the archangels, the holy angels, the special helpers, healing ministers and healing angels. Thank you all for your blessings, your presence, your constant divine guidance, help and protection. Thank you for blessing us to maintain an activated heart, mind, and allowing the soul and the spirit to dwell in these bodies to higher and higher degrees each and every passing day. With deep gratitude, with deep respect, and lots of love, we thank you. Okay, so we're just going to try and understand. Yeah, you can put your hands down. Thank you. So, we're going to try and understand what is energy healing, what is healing, and how is it different from maybe a personal session of yoga. Yes. So energy healing technically works on the energy body. So we have this counterpart to our physical body. I'm really not sure how much you know or how much you do not know, but I'm just giving an introduction which would be for everybody who would know or who would not. Yes, yeah, a very layman introduction. Okay. So we have these systems in our body, so which we would broadly categorize into the respiratory system and the nervous system, the various systems of our body, like the blood circulatory system, the reproductive system, gastrointestinal system. So we have these various systems of the bodies. And when we have to sustain a system, you need something happening on the background. For example, if you have this farm, and you need to provide water into this farm, you need what is called as a water pump. You need a water pump, yes? And the water pump technically brings water from a reservoir or from a dam or some source and pushes it into irrigation channels. This is what technically happens. Like if you can look at this picture here, you have this water pump pouring out water, then it is sent through all these channels throughout the field. They run throughout the field. Yes. So similarly, in the physical body, there are many centers which we call, many channels which we call nadis. So the nadis are technically the energy counterpart of the nervous system. The nadis are supposed to be the energy counterpart of the nervous system. Okay, I'm sure many of you know a lot, but we are just talking about how we would talk to a layman. So we can have a discussion later. Of course, I'm sure most of you know a lot already, right? So we have chakras on the body, and it's not on the body. It is about 4 inches from the physical body. It is supposed to be located on the electromagnetic field or the aura, or what is called as the energy body, or the etheric substance, ether or akasha, also called as the etheric double of the physical body, also called as the pranamaya kosha, because it is basically made of this substance which we call as prana. Yes. And the physical body is called as the annamaya kosha because it sustains through food, and an in Sanskrit means technically food. Okay. So there is the physical visible body which is called as the annamaya kosha, and there is the invisible part of this physical body which is an exact duplicate of the physical body, and it is called as the pranamaya kosha. Now technically in our healing modality, we talk majorly about 11 chakras. When I say they are major chakras, the meaning is like this. Now for example, you have a power station in a certain place, right? And this power station is more important than the smaller transformers, more important than actually the power supply of your personal house. I hope you agree to that, right? There's this power station which supplies, let's say, about 1 lakh of houses. So this power station becomes a more important point of supply of electricity as compared to a smaller transformer, or as compared to a meter box in your own home. Because if the meter box blows up, It's only your home which is going to lose electricity. If the transformer blows up, maybe it's your street and maybe 100 houses which is going to lose electricity. Whereas if the main power station blows up, it's going to be a lakh or more houses which is going to lose some electricity, right? So that is why we call them as major chakras, because they tend to control major systems of the body. They tend to control major systems of the body. Like one of the most known chakra is the Anahata. Also in simple English, we would just call it the heart chakra. Okay. So it is located somewhere at the center of your chest. You could say about the second button. Okay. It is not to the left where the physical heart is located. It is to the center. It is to the center. There is something called as a front heart chakra, and exactly diametrically opposite is the back heart chakra. Now the front heart and the back heart together govern the functioning of the lungs, the physical heart and the thymus gland. So technically, every chakra would be connected to a gland, step number one. Every chakra would be connected to a gland, and the functioning of the chakra, the well-being of the chakra affects the well-being of the gland and further the secretion of the hormones. Okay. So the chakras are on the etheric body, and there is a requirement of clean prana to be absorbed through the chakras. How is it possible to obstruct the chakras? Could be the next question. Like we would say in our teaching, it is not really the chemicals which would cause the major damage. It is the psyche which would cause the major damage. It is the emotions that we absorb into the chakras which would cause the malfunctioning of the glands. Yes, it is the emotion that is absorbed into the chakras which is causing the malfunctioning of the glands. And if we talk about ourselves living in a generic city, for example, we live in an ocean of thought forms. Whether you like it or not, you are simply swimming in this ocean of thought forms of every person around you. Unless you choose to go away in isolation, where I would say there is no person, no human being who is thinking or feeling to a distance of about 1 kilometer, then over a period of time, you don't accumulate or absorb the emotions and thoughts of other human beings, and you start emptying what is there within you. This is technically what happens in most of the times, right? Because unless you have a great guru who is sakshat, that is a person who is in the physical form, or definitely there are gurus who are in the etheric form also, who are immortal. Yes, who are immortal. So either your proximity to your spiritual teacher or guru and maintaining the proximity is the whole question. That not only at the time of prayer, but at all times if that proximity can be maintained, that is, you literally immerse yourself into the frequency of the divine or the guru, instead of immersing yourself into any kind of thoughts and emotions around you, you do not absorb anything which is detrimental to you. Okay, and there are chakras which have certain kinds of capacities to absorb. Okay. Now, for example, there is a chakra here. This is called as the Vishuddhi chakra or the throat chakra. Okay. Now, this chakra majorly absorbs one kind of an emotion, which is fear. Now, there is a chakra here near the diaphragm. This is called as the solar plexus chakra. This chakra has a tendency to majorly absorb another kind of emotion, which could be anger, hatred, jealousy. Okay. There is this chakra which is located in the navel, which is the exact belly button, and this chakra has a tendency to absorb injuriousness. Like you end up injuring yourself or you end up injuring others. Maybe even becoming a little brutal, ruthless and violent is many times because the navel chakra has accumulated that kind of energy into itself. And then we have people who think that their life has been useless and they have been worthless and they are of no use to the society or anything else. Where would their energies, where would that kind of energy be accumulated is the sex chakra. when I do not have self-worth, when I go into this rut of guilt, or if I get into this of lack of self-appreciation, lack of good self-esteem, it is the sex chakra which generally gets congested. And if a person has lost the will to live, yes, if the person has lost the will to live, I don't think this world is worth living. I think I should just give up everything, and I should just go off somewhere, because this world is just mithya, or it is just, what do you say? It's an illusion. So the more you get into that kind of a thought, it is the basic chakra or the Mooladhara which is responsible for physicalizing a certain achievement on this earth, which reduces its intensity. As the intensity of the Mooladhara reduces and reduces and reduces, your will to live also reduces. Okay, so like this we have various chakras, and these chakras technically absorb. You live in a world of, in an ocean of thoughts and emotions that people are constantly radiating from their homes and their hearts and their feelings, and it's constant. You technically have no control over it. The only thing that you have control is on yourself. You can choose to take in some emotions. It's like a choice you have. You allow something to come into your house, or you do not allow something to come into your house. It's always a choice. You keep the doors open, the mosquitoes will come, because it is their world too. It is not just your world. So similarly, it is a world where there will be all kinds of thoughts and emotions. And if your chakras are not at a certain frequency, now if you are, let's say even meditating, and suddenly, even most of the times, it is recommended that people meditate in the wee hours of morning, which is called as the Brahma Muhurt. Yes, it's like 3:45 in the morning. This is a general, what do you say, advice which is given to people. Mostly because the prana at that time is nil. How does the prana come in? The prana comes in with the sunshine. When did the sun come in? The sun comes in. The energy of the sun comes in, starts at around 4, and the sun actually is visible to you around 6, and then it kind of sets by around 5. So the maximum creation of oxygen and prana stops at, let us say, the point of 5 o'clock. Then there is only absorption by the human beings who are existing on earth and all other creatures of this oxygen and of this prana. So the oxygen and the prana is consumed to such a great degree that in the morning at around 3:45, you have the least amount of oxygen and the least prana available. So when you have least oxygen and least prana available, your brain works the least. Yes, because your brain requires oxygen and there is not enough for it to be pumped up into the brain. Okay. So that is why it is preferred that you would wake up in the early morning when your brain really cannot think. That is something for the beginners. That is something for the beginners. It is a good thing for the beginners to get up early in the morning, because they cannot stop the restless mind from thinking otherwise. And so they have to get up at a time when there is least prana or least oxygen, or move into a very high region like the Himalayas, or maybe deep down into the earth where there is no prana or no oxygen. These are the couple of possibilities where you can shut your mind from actually thinking, because you deprive it of prana or oxygen. Okay. So in that mode, when you meditate, you technically do not have many people thinking and sending emotions towards you. You literally have the whole world sleeping, because the whole world needs oxygen to think, and it's all a mental game out there, and people do not have the efficiency to think early in the morning. And who is supposed to get up and do something? When you get up at that point of time, you don't have interference. That's why in most of the texts they say you have clarity for doing a meditation, because there is no interference from any other mental or emotional thought around you. Yes, whereas over a period of time, Meditation should not be something that we do at a certain point of time, but it should be a form of existence, because the chakras are circular in shape, right? And anything which is a circle rotates, which is an obvious outcome. Okay, whether it is a spinning wheel or whether it is a biological motor, there are some biomotors. Okay, they are all circular in nature, and anything which is circular rotates. And when it rotates and rotates and rotates and rotates, and when you have through some processes of meditation and purification, so in our system we strongly talk about character purification, and as you purify, like you remove unnecessary dirt from a wheel and the wheel starts rotating faster. So as you purify the chakras of all that you have consolidated and accumulated, not just from this incarnation, but even before you came into the womb of the mother, all the information that we have taken in is there in the chakras and in the glands. And as we purify, the chakras automatically start moving or rotating at very high speeds or frequencies. This is an automatic thing which would happen, which you just remove what is not necessary, and the chakras are supposed to be technically capable of absorbing the prana in the environment. Even, like we are from Delhi, even if you are in a place in Delhi where you could say is highly polluted, but there is definitely prana in the air. It depends on what is your ability. It is always the survival of the fittest. The survival of the fittest a long time ago was based on what kind of food was consumed. The survival of the fittest at this point of time depends on what kind of emotions you store in the chakras, right? Times change, teachings change. Yes, the information given for a certain person depends on the environment that you are in. Yes, at one point of time, maybe killing was the only thing, killing or adultery was the only thing which is wrong. At this point of time, even wastage of a resource like water is wrong. Yes, so those are the things which are small but very essential for us to go deeply into a certain teaching. Yes. So anyway, the chakras are like this and they absorb a lot of energy. Okay. So now what can healing help us with, and what is healing? Healing in very layman terms is like having a maid for cleansing the house. Okay. You have a maid or you clean it yourself. You use a broom, you use a vacuum, you use something, you clean up the place. Right. So similarly, you yourself can learn it or somebody else can do it for you. That is, they can clean up the chakras or clean up the aura. It is technically like using a broom. Where you cleanse the aura and cleanse the chakras. Through the cleansing of the aura and the chakras, what technically happens is, the aura of this particular person, if you look at him, he is a 62-year-old person and diabetic in nature, with neurological problems. And this person has this aura which is all broken and tattered. Are you understanding my point? Why do you land like this? Because these chakras absorb all kinds of energies which are not required for your existence. So when the aura is broken and tattered, now can you imagine that you have this vessel into which you are pouring water and there are holes in the vessel? The more you pour water, there is leakage. The more you pour water, there is leakage. So similarly happens with your aura. If your aura is tattered or has holes, that's because of the livelihood, it's because of where you are, it's because of the emotions you absorb, it's because of what you eat and drink also to a certain degree. And as the aura kind of becomes thin, tatters, breaks, then diseases can easily come in. It's not that diseases have never been there around you. It's just that they have an easier passage to enter your system when the aura is broken or tattered or just has holes in them. So healing is technically about setting right this aura. Through the healing process, this is what is expected, that the aura which is tattered or broken at some point can be made whole. It is like a vessel which had a hole, literal hole. It can be sealed. Yes, it can be sealed. and this helps the chakras to absorb water. So this is something like what would happen in a healing process. You see, this is just a representation of how it would look, and what this person is holding is something what we call as a crystal. Now you see, what you can do is you can simply use a crystal or your hands also to cleanse the chakras. So you like cleanse, 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 cleanse. You can just cleanse the chakras and we absorb the energy and put it into salt water. We have these salt water bowls over here. So they are called as bioplasmic disposal units. Yes, so it's your bioplasmic energy or the etheric energy accumulation. If you remove something from the aura which is not of use to you, you need a place where you can dump it or it can be disintegrated. So it's basically salt and a little bit of eucalyptus oil and water. Okay, so we go into a proportion, like we put 1 handful of salt in about 1 liter of water, 2 handfuls of salt in about 2 liters of water, and about 5 to 6 drops of eucalyptus oil. And this will be the process of how you cleanse a chakra. And you could cleanse a body part where there is accumulated pain in the same way, where the crystal or the hand can be used to simply sweep, sweep, sweep out the energy and throw it into the bioplasmic disposal unit. It's as simple as that. Okay, it's like this. So this is an area of pain and disease which can be technically swept out. So where is our emotional world? Many of you may definitely be knowing about it, but we'll just have a quick look. Like if you see, if you have a building, you always have a foundation. If you have an iceberg, it's only 10% of what you see above and 90% of what is floating under the water, right? It's 10% above and 90% under the water. So technically, your physical life is only a reflection. It's only the 10% reflection of the 90% of the reality which is unseen to the physical eyes, right? 90% of the reality that is unseen to the physical eyes. So we could just put it up like this, that happiness and empathy and hope and joy and then hatred and all of that stuff which is in the unseen world or in the auric realm is what directly affects your finances, your relationship, your health, everything. Okay, everything is affected by this unseen world. So emotions affect us and emotions affect others. So whatever we hold is going to either burn us if it is not something positive. So we would just simply say, when you hold on to anger or when you hold on to hatred, it is like holding fire within you and expecting the other person to burn down, or drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Yes, so that's technically what happens when we hold on to anger, fear or disgust. Even if you are trying to run away from it, what did I say? Even if I'm trying to run away from something and I just don't want to see a person, I don't want to talk about something again, it simply means that as long as I don't have a closure, I don't have a resolution, I hold on to that information deep within my consciousness and it is still burning or it is still rotting. Yes, there could be vibrations for which we do not have closures, and these vibrations which do not have closures would enter into some part of our body. Let's take an example. Okay, we all know that we are souls, right? Most of us know that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, right? We are spirits having a physical experience. Even if he's a murderer, is a criminal, whatever. Everybody is a spiritual being having a physical experience. Now, this is what we forget. Now, if we are spiritual beings, then every particle of our body should technically be absorbed in that spirit energy. The soul energy has to be absorbed. Hindi में बोले तो गुलाब जामुन चाशनी में, है ना? So or a sponge in water. So जैसे वो रस जो है एक एक कण कण में होती है, तो ऐसे ही, or there is water deep within every pore of the sponge. If you put a sponge into colored water, you know that colored water will enter into every particle of the sponge. Now you are a spirit. Repeat, you are a spirit. And this spiritual energy or the soul energy has to be available in every particle of your system. It's your birthright, it is just to happen. But what happens is like this. Like for example, I have some unresolved anger irritation that I have no closure. Now when I hold on to this thought, or when I refuse to accept the existence of this thought and I refuse to resolve it, Over a period of time, it accumulates, like anger, irritation accumulates in the liver. A lot of resentment accumulates in the kidneys. Worry and grief accumulates in your lungs. Okay, so you have different parts of the body which accumulate different kind of energies. Okay, so when these energies accumulate, what happens is they resist the soul energy from replacing them. Okay, you have to understand that there is this world where we live, there are a lot of fears and a lot of incidences, and these incidents kind of get absorbed into our system so much, that they are so strongly rooted. Now, when I say strongly rooted, I would say think of a banyan tree. Can you think of a banyan tree? So when you think of a banyan tree, its roots are so deep and spread so wide that even if you cut down that tree, it will be back in its place in less than a year. Yes, because its roots are spread so wide. And that's how we have most of our subconscious programming. We have things which are so strongly rooted within us that most of the processes that we do intermittently, the problem is intermittently, like you cut down a tree, you go to a process, you do something, even sometimes you just do some healing for a day or two, and then you cut down the tree, and then you go back to the normal world, then you have the same kind of situations, and the same kind of situations is going to cause that tree to just bloom back again. Now, what is actually required? How do I fell down a banyan tree? How do I just make a banyan tree topple down? That's like a very, very hard process, but it still can happen. So if that area would have rains, let's say, for about 6 months relentlessly, the soil in that area will be eroded. What did I say? The soil in that area will be eroded, that the huge banyan tree or the oak wood tree or whatever tree which has been standing for 1,000 years, also if there is going to be rain and rain and rain and rain and rain for, let's say, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, the topsoil is eroded and the tree falls. So that's how the whole process of healing and spirituality comes into effect. When you expose yourself to the energy constantly, pump yourself into the realm of optimism, and you can say spirituality. We are all spiritual beings already. Yes, it's not something that we have to seek, it's something that you have to uncover. Yes, it is not something to be looked for, it is something that you have to be looking inside for. Yes, so it is like this when it rains and rains and rains and rains of spiritual energy, and you are able to heal and clean and make up that place clean enough, then finally the anger, the fear and the disgust and all of that tend to just fall off. Okay, so envy, sadness, anxiety, all of that. So we'll do a very small process of forgiveness. So we'll just put our hands together and smile. So you can just mentally repeat after me. We are all children of God and we are all children of the Most High. We are all evolving and we all make mistakes. हम सब ईश्वर के संतान हैं और हम सब एक हैं और हम सब विकास के मार्ग में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं और हम सब से गलतियां होती हैं. God give me the strength and the courage to let go of all unnecessary past, any pain, insult, hatred that would have been directed towards me. If I have absorbed it into my system, I wish to ask for the courage to let it go. By your grace, may I have the courage to let go of all unnecessary past. For I understand that this unfortunate past mostly burns me down, mostly rots within me. जो दुख और दर्द हम अपने अंदर रखते हैं वो सिर्फ हमें ही नुकसान पहुंचाता है, वो हमें ही जलाता है और हमारे अंदर ही सड़ रहा होता है. इस समझ के साथ ही ईश्वर मुझे इतना ताकत दे, इतना शक्ति दे कि हम उन सब चीज़ों को भूल जाएं जो भी बीते हुए कल का दुर्घटनाएं हैं, और उन सब लोगों को शांति दे. I wish to simply let go of all the past which serves me no more. All misfortunes, all pains and all hatred I wish to let go of. Touch your heart with the left hand and you may just imagine all those people if you can. And sometimes remembering people who have hurt you can bring back memories which are filled with anger and disgust. So you can just say, May the unconditional love of God be radiated through me and into every person. May the unconditional love of God radiate through me and into every person. Even if they have hurt me or pained me or insulted me, still I wish to send only peace. I send a lot of peace and love to all of them. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. God, give me the strength to release. You may raise your hands like this and say, I cut, disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. May you go in peace and may I be in peace. Again, put your hands in the Namaste Mudra and say, God, give me the strength to understand that wherever I have landed myself in my life, whatever is my situation, whatever may be the state of mind, whatever may be the state of relationships, or whatever may be the state of my finances, only I and only I am responsible for everything. I am the author of my own life. Unless I have put in the seeds, I would not be reaping the fruits. Everything that is happening to me, only I and only I am responsible. Maybe I would have made fun of somebody behind their back unknowingly, and sometimes somebody would be making fun of me. At that point, I need to remember, give me the strength to remember at that point that it is me who have put the seed. Maybe I have ignored people when they have come for help, asked for help. And if I am in a situation where nobody seems to help me, then I need to understand that this is the divine, the Guru, the God, trying to make me understand how others would have felt. Every situation in my life is only of my own making. So God, give me the strength and the wisdom to learn from my past mistakes, not repeat those habits, and let go of those miseries. I understand that to the degree that I am able to forgive others, I will be forgiven. I understand that to the degree that I am able to forgive others, I will be forgiven. When I instantaneously let go of any situation, any pain, I will receive instantaneous forgiveness. With this understanding, I ask for peace to be with me and to be with all the people that I would have hurt at this birth or any births, knowingly or unknowingly. इस जन्म या किसी भी जन्म में जाने या अनजाने में हमने अगर किसी को दुख पहुंचाया होगा, दर्द पहुंचाया होगा, तो हे ईश्वर, हे परब्रह्मन, हम समझते हैं कि जिन हालातों से हम गुजर रहे हैं, इन हालातों के ही शिकार बनाए होंगे उन लोगों को, और इन सब चीज़ों के लिए हम माफ़ी मांगते हैं और बुद्धि मांगते हैं, ज्ञान मांगते हैं और समझ मांगते हैं कि हम वापस ऐसे गलतियों को अनजाने में भी ना करें. So touch your heart with the left hand and channelize unconditional love, unconditional peace and compassion into yourself and all those people whom you would have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. Om Shanti 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 Om. May you be blessed with infinite peace. May you go in peace. I release any connections. You again say disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. Now put your hands down and say, if I have done something wrong for which I repent and have remorse and have guilt, for which I have yet not forgiven myself, because of which peace is not sustained within me, there would be many times and many incidents which I would have held myself responsible for. There could be many incidents, many situations for which I would have held myself responsible for. God, I understand that holding on to the guilt and the lack of good self-esteem and the lack of self-love and self-appreciation and feeling disgusted about myself is simply not going to solve the problem. Let me learn my lesson, let me learn it well, and let me let go of the past. I wish to simply let go of all unnecessary past. And I intend to have only peace within me and around me. Om Shanti. 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 Om. Just be aware for a few seconds. Okay. Right, so that's one thing. I think it's universal. It's not something that I think everything of spirituality is universal because we are spirits with a physical experience. So forgiveness is one part of our process, and forgive and forget, not revenge and regret. Forgiveness because you deserve peace, not because somebody else deserves something or not. When you forgive, it is you who receive the peace. So forgiveness is freedom. Then we have the simple breathing exercise which we call as the rhythmic abdominal breathing. It's like breathe like a child. Repeat, breathe like a child. The child breathes in such a way that it's just the abdomen moving up and down. Your lungs rest on the diaphragm. Repeat, your lungs rest on the diaphragm. And when the lungs have to expand, then the abdomen has to move out. And when the lungs have to contract, it is the abdomen which moves in. So that's a very natural state of breathing. So we'll have a quick look at what we call as the meditation for the peace and illumination. We technically talk about two chakras, the heart chakra and the crown chakra. So the heart is at the center of the chest and the crown is also called the Sahasrara or the Brahmarandra. Now, now when you start activating your heart, how do you activate your heart? When you wish good for others, when you bless others, when you serve, or when you forgive, the heart opens. And when the heart opens, it is only then that the crown can actually open, right? It's not possible to break open the crown or focus on the crown for hours together or focus on the ajna for hours together to technically open it up. It needs a loving, giving, compassionate, caring, receptive, forgiving heart for the crown to open. It's like cross ventilation. If you want air, okay, which is there always outside. If you go out, there's a lot of nice air. Because we don't have cross ventilation, we need something else to bring breeze. Are you understanding my point? Now, the love of God, the blessings of God is constantly available like air to every person. It is we and only we who shut our doors because of which the essence of God cannot actually enter into our day-to-day life. It's we who shut our doors because that it is our resistances which prevents us from understanding that God is constantly giving, like the sun is constantly there, whether you see it or not, does not make a difference. It is the existence of the sun that allows this earth to be where it is. So it is the existence of God that allows you to be where you are, right? And only what happens is, now for example, if I switch off the air conditioners, close all the windows, and even close the door, still there will be some amount of air here, yes? Because there is this slight air which comes through the smallest of holes possible, yes? Unless you vacuum this area, there will be always air flowing in. So most of the human beings would be considered to be like that, where we just have shut all our doors, but we have that spirit energy coming into us because that energy is required for our existence. Now, can we actually increase the degree of energy that is coming into ourself, right? So in India, we would say that human beings are like puppets. Human beings are like puppets, and the puppets have these ropes with which you move them. And can you imagine you have this very, very thin thread? Would you be able to move the puppet? No. You need a thread of a certain thickness, or you could call it a rope or a certain thickness, to be able to move the puppet. So even if you are Atma or the Paramatma or the Parabrahman and the different levels of existence wants to guide you, you need to create this, what we call as the Antahakarna. You need to create what is called as the Antakarna. There is something called as the spiritual cord, the Sutratma, which comes down into every human being at the time of birth. But the Antakarna is created by individual effort in each incarnation. The Antakarna is created as your way of extending your hands towards God. God's hands towards you is always extended. But when it is a two-way connection, the connection is more stronger. Okay, so for that to happen, so one of our basic meditations is called as the meditation for peace and illumination. So in this, we basically focus on opening our hearts. So how do we open our hearts? We just bless the earth in front of us. We imagine earth. Okay, so we will just do the process quickly so that everybody can go to sleep. Okay, so let's just focus on the heart. Okay, we will just start with the meditation. We have already invoked for the divine to be with us, for our gurus to be with us, for us to receive divine guidance, help and protection to do what is right. Thank you. Okay, and just touch your heart, and preferably with the left hand. The left and the right hand has different qualities. So the left hand is more mercy and love. So touch your heart with the left hand and visualize the heart bloom like a beautiful rose. Think of a happy event and you need to really smile. एक सुखद घटना को याद करें और मुस्कुराएं. ऐसे मुस्कुराहट नहीं जो सुपरफिशियल है, ऐसे मुस्कुराहट जो आपके दिल खोल दे. Smile, thinking of an extremely beautiful, happy event and focus on your heart. Feel your heart bloom like a beautiful rose. Om Ananda. Om. Now you can touch your crown with the left hand just once and smile. Put your hands down. Now be aware of the crown and think of another beautiful moment of life. Maybe one that is connected to the divine, to the Guru. And smile at the crown. And feel the lotus, the golden lotus blooming above your head. Om Ananda. Om. Now imagine the earth in front of you the size of a football. You can just visualize the earth in front of you the size of a football. And please raise your hands like this in the blessing mudra. We are all channels of the Guru and the Divine. And let us bless the earth in front of us. Focus on your heart. Use the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord God, thank you for making me this instrument of divine peace and divine love. Om Ananda. Om. Wherever there is darkness, let there be light. Darkness is the ignorance which can be transformed by the divine light of wisdom. God, give me the strength to be able to absorb the wisdom from the divine light. Wherever there is sadness, let there be joy. Wherever there is doubt, let there be faith. Wherever there is hatred, let there be forgiveness. May people support each other, bless each other, forgive each other, help each other. Now be aware of the navel chakra. Smile and bless the earth. Now shift your awareness to the crown, the center of the head. We are all children of God and children of Most High. God, thank you for giving me the strength to radiate divine peace, divine bliss and oneness. The experience of divine bliss brings about the experience of God. Om Ananda. Om. Now be aware of the crown and the heart simultaneously. With a breath, inhale from the heart of the God or Guru. Love into your crown and heart, and as you exhale, exhale it through your body. You are radiating like the sun. Again, inhale from the Guru, the Supreme God, into your crown and heart. Exhale it into the whole body. Intense, dazzling golden light radiating into this entire earth. All violence, vengeance, brutality, revenge be transformed through love, compassion. हर हिंसात्मक तत्व को अहिंसा में परिवर्तित किया जाए. ओम आनंदा. All anarchy, disorder, chaos, violence, aggression, lust, greed, abuse, selfishness, all be transformed by the loving golden energies. Om Ananda. Om. All kinds of fear, cowardice, phobias, traumas of the past be transmuted by the faith in the divine. Om Ananda. Om. All sexual impulsive indulgences, voluptuousness, be all transmuted right now. Om Ananda. Om. Put your hands down, palms facing upwards. And just keep your eyes closed and above the head, about 3 inches above the crown of the Sahasrara. Visualize a golden flame. Keep your tongue connected to the roof of the mouth, the Kechari Mudra. Focus with your eyes closed above the crown. Look at a golden flame of light in which the Divine is seated. With every breath, the golden flame is expanding, extending, pulsating and vibrating. Just listen to the chanting of the Om, and between the Oms, be still and know that you are God. Aham Brahmasmi. Just be aware. Aware of the golden flame. Bring this energy as a golden flame into your left and the right brain. Into the left and the right brain, allow this energy to pour into. All patterns of the past, all previous memories, which may be the reason for ill health, unhappiness, fears, insecurities, be all dissolved. You may mentally say to yourself, I'm full of life, love and light of God. I am healthy and bright. Now absorb with each breath the golden light from above the head into the nervous system. I am the love, life and light of God. I am healthy and bright. Absorb this golden energy into your face, the facial muscles. I am the love, life and light of God. I am healthy and bright. Allow all stress and trauma to be released. The energy enters into your respiratory system as all worry and grief is released. You say, I am full of life, love and light of God, healthy and bright. Allow the energy to go into the physical heart, into the hands. I am filled with the love, life and light of God and healthy and bright. Allow the golden flame to enter into the intestines, into the navel and into the 72,000 nadis. I'm full of love, life, light of God and healthy and bright. Allow this energies to impregnate into your reproductive organs as all lust, greed and selfishness is dissolved. Say, I am full of life, light and love of God, I'm healthy and bright. Now absorb the energy into the Mooladhara, the basic chakra, as it enters into the skeletal system, the ligaments, the cartilage, the sinews. I am full of life, light and love of God and healthy and bright. Entire spine. I am full of life, light, love of God, healthy and bright. All old, dirty, diseased energies anywhere in the body is being displaced. Now please again raise your hands at the chest level. May the spiritual organizations that you are connected to be blessed. Every person, every being on this earth be blessed with divine light, love, power, divine help, guidance, protection, financial abundance, material abundance. Everybody be blessed with good health, happiness, illumination, enlightenment. Every person on this earth be blessed, you be blessed, your family be blessed. Everybody be blessed with whatever the heart desires. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of every person, every being on this earth. Let light descend into this earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all people on this earth. May the world teacher descend into this earth. From the center where the will of Lord Shiva is known, let purpose guide the will of every person, every being. The purpose which the holy masters know and serve. The purpose which the Sadgurus, the great ones, know and serve. Let goodwill and will to do good descend on this earth. From the center which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Irsha, Alasya, जो भी हमारे अंदर अभी भी है, अपने प्रयास से जो खत्म नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, दिव्य ऊर्जा से परिवर्तित किया जाए. Let the divine light, love and power accelerate the divine plan for this earth. इस पृथ्वी के दिव्य योजना को बहुत जल्द ही जल्द संपन्न किया जाए. Put your hands down, palms facing downwards now. Focus on the feet and below the feet, deep into the earth. Allow the energies to go down deep into the earth. Bless Mother Earth, good air, good water. Blessings be to Mother Earth. May Mother Earth be regenerated and rejuvenated. are strongly rooted and connected to Mother Earth, for it is the purpose of our existence to serve this Mother Earth. So put your hands back in the Namaste Mudra as we do Thanksgiving. We thank the Supreme Parabrahman, the Divine Father, Divine Mother, my spiritual teacher and all spiritual teachers, all the great ones, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the Paramatmas, the Tirthankaras, the prophets, the archangels, the holy angels, and the spiritual helpers. Thank you for the purification, strengthening, empowerment, upgradation of each one of us to be able to house an activated heart, mind, and body where the soul and spirit dwells to higher degrees. With deep gratitude, with deep respect, and lots of love. Thank you all for being with us in this session. Atma Namaste.